So last year I introduced this to my students in the Business and Society course at the bachelor level. This is a Catchbox. As you can see, it's a soft little box and it has a microphone right here. So students can use it to comment questions or just discuss actively in class. And then because it's called Catchbox, so the idea is also students can throw it to each other and thereby really foster discussion in the classroom. I'm teaching Business and Society. That's a course where it's about values, responsibility, morality. That's something where everybody has, a different understanding about it. It's very discussion based. So I like to get the personal viewpoints of my students when we discuss cases. So I was wondering, how can I do this with 250 students? And then luckily a colleague of mine showed me or told me about Catchbox. And I thought that would be a great opportunity to foster discussion within the classroom by, asking questions, throwing the microphone. That's just really what motivates me, because I want to have a discussion-based class.
It's a long course also. It's almost 4 hours. So this is quite heavy if it's all lecture. So it's nice to have the Catchbox to keep students alert that it could be coming to them, but also to engage them so they think about answers and express their views on our topics.
Normally what I do in the first half of the class, I introduce a theory or a concept, and then I normally introduce a case, a small case, which has a couple of questions, and then ask them to discuss. And then once they discuss, normally after 5 to 10 minutes, I will then ask the whole class, who would like to share their thoughts, and then I'll start throwing the Catchbox, and then ideally they throw it from one to another to share a few of their thoughts.
The Catchbox is an overall innovation in the fact that it facilitates people to speak up in class. It helps the discussion to be built up. I think in terms of my exams, the Catchbox is helpful because it creates this lively discussion in class, and it makes, for me, at least personally, it helps me remember things better than if I'm just sitting in a classroom and listening to a teacher basically read off his slides, and you don't remember really what happened, and then makes studying for the exam harder.
Compared to traditional teaching, the Catchbox, I think, really allows an interactive component. I don't want to sit in a lecture for 4 hours, hear from the professor what's ethical, because I have an opinion and everybody has a different feeling of what's ethical. So the Catchbox really allows to create an engagement and interaction between me and the students, so I can hear their thoughts and I can pick it up. But it also creates an interesting dynamic amongst the students as they sort of have to work together. The one throwing the Catchbox to one student and then from one to another, that just creates almost like a team activity, a team effort, and I think they bond over this a bit during the class.
The advantage of using the Catchbox in class is that it helps keep students' attention. It encourages them to participate and to keep them actively engaged. So they're not just passively listening, but they're also thinking and considering what they want to say.
Well, I think the main advantage of this innovation is the fact that the lecture becomes much more lively. The students feel more involved in the lecture, and that's probably a considerable help for their exam preparation, because every time you have the microphone or every time you hand the microphone to another person, you're much more attentive to what you are about to say or what they are about to say, which helps you memorize the information much faster.
So I think for the students it creates confidence into just raising their voice. And for me, I think it's really valuable because I think I can learn so much also from the students, or also the way they ask questions. So for me, it's just a source of information to hear what's going on in the classroom, what kind of questions or thoughts they have.
I think it helps the students to get out of their shell, and then later in their careers they'll have to present, or later in their academic work even. Maybe if they go on to do a master's, they'll have to do presentations. So it's important to start finding their voice and being more comfortable.
So if colleagues would come to me and ask me how can they use the Catchbox, then I would say very easy, just use it, just throw it. I think the Catchbox can be used in any type of courses that maybe might not be traditionally very discussion-based. Students can, you know, still use the Catchbox and talk in the microphone in a big classroom or so. So it doesn't have to be necessarily about all discussion. It's just also giving the student maybe an easier way to participate and, you know, raise their voice during the class.